Edition of the Family by You. Yes, my name is Collins. I'll be your host. This evening we'll be talking on what I titled The Child's Lunchbox. Yes, school has started. Yes, school has started. All thanks to the parents who by the grace of God, have been able to put these children to school, and to the glory of God, school has resumed. I think for those that resumed on the 8th, it should be the second or third week, I can't remember, forgive me. Then for those that resumed on 15th, this is the second week, I think. We've talked about dropping off your child in the school, picking your child from the school, getting to know your children's teacher, then your child's or children's teacher. Today we want to talk on the lunchbox. The lunchbox is an all important part of the preparation for school every day. The lunchbox to some pupil or children, those in kindergarten, that's early years and all that, the lunchbox is more important than even the school bag itself, because of their the limits they can take when it comes to eating food. Okay, so food intake, they may not be able to endure for a long time. So we see lunchbox as a very important aspect of school preparation, and that's why we need to talk about it. I want to talk about it because it deserves to be talked about. Number one is I want to first say cheers to all mothers, because it's not easy for them. Okay, some mothers, okay, let me start by saying first, because of these school days, even if your wife or your mother did not tell you, I am not telling you on her behalf. She sent me to remind you that food menu for the family food menu is going to change drastically. Why is it changing? It's changing because some homes do use the same food that was used as night food, warm it in the morning and put in the lunch bag or in the lunch box for the children. Some do cook fresh food, but I know that it is not easy for mothers to cook fresh food every morning. Thanks for your comment and thanks for your love emoji. Please share this link to your friends who can join right now or who join after this important topic to be discussed with parents. Yes, the lunch box. Yes, so as I was saying, I'm saying that we are appreciating mothers who, for whatever reason, for all the reasons, make out time to prepare food for. Sorry, I'm distracted. I want to just get something. Make out time to prepare food for these children. Okay, for school. You understand what it is to prepare food for children. Like I said initially, in some homes, sorry, I'm checking something in my, let me, permit me to share this link. Sorry for the distraction. I want to share the link to one WhatsApp group that I belong to so that they can join us to listen to. So sorry, I'll share it right away. Yes, I'm back live. So I was saying that on the lunch pack, what can we say about the lunch pack? We can say that number one, like I said initially, food menus will change drastically in the family, in the sense that the mother, just 1 minute, sorry, I'm taking your time. The mother would, some people in some families, okay, the mother will be busy, that she won't be able to wake up every morning to prepare fresh food. Okay, so in some homes, for sure, the food menu is going to change. Okay, for some families, the mother is able to manage the food that was cooked last night for the same, for like for the previous day, okay, as the lunch box. Okay, so understanding the lunch box is very important for us as parents. Sorry, I'm just a bit distracted. I'm forwarding the link to help me forward as well, please. Yes, I know you're online. Help me forward this link. Share the link with your contact. Let's get people to learn from these things as well. Yes, it will benefit all of us. So help me share it, forward this to the various WhatsApp groups where you belong to. Yes, welcome. So I was saying that the lunchbox is a very important part, a very important aspect of school preparation. Mothers go through a lot in every new academic section to see that their children go to school with quality and good food. So for some homes, the mothers, what they do is that the food menu for the family changes in the night. So whatever they're going to cook in the night will be based on what the children will be able to take to school in the morning. All she needs to do is just to come, warm the food, and then that's all. For some mothers, those that have energy, I would say all praise to them. They will wake up in the morning and prepare a fresh food for the children, which they will use and take to school. So and the time also, because of the time they're supposed to wake up and all that. So because of this, there's usually a variation in the food menu for the home. Having established this, let's now talk about the lunchbox and the child. For the child, the lunchbox is very important for the child. Like I said initially, for most children, the lunchbox is even more important than the school bag itself. The reason is that the endurance level of the child is still still coming up. It's not as lengthy as that of an adult that can maybe say eat in the morning and will not need food again for a long time. Okay, when these children take tea, some take tea and 2 slices of bread. Some take whatever they eat in the morning, they will just go to school, and you don't expect them to stay long before eating again because of their energy level. Okay, so do not say, I would say it's not a command or whatever. I don't even know what I should say is a command. Do not send your child to school without a lunchbox. Yes, in fact, I give you the permission to send your child to school with a school bag, but never send your child to school without a lunchbox. For sure, your child must go to school with a school bag and books. I'm only trying to emphasize that the child needs a lunchbox. One of the benefits of having his or her own lunchbox is that it will prevent your child from even begging in the class. It will prevent your child from begging other children to say, give me this or give me that. So now let's talk about the content of the lunchbox. That's the essence of this meeting. Number one, the lunchbox will contain, for some, it will contain a food flask. One, it will contain a water bottle. Two, it will contain snacks. 3, 4, it will contain cutlery. Now let's stop at this 4. I think these are the only 4 things that need to be in the school, in the lunch box. The food flask 1, the water bottle 2, the snacks 3, and the cutlery 4. Now let's start from the last. The cutlery. You're not going to give your child knife to go to school, so whatever that need to be cut at home should be cut by the mother or whoever that is getting the child ready for school. Cut everything that need to be cut into the specific flask or plate or something that the child will need to go to school. Do not include knife in the cutlery that you're going to give your child to school. Okay, so some people also include only spoon and fork. Also some do plastic all through to avoid hitting it, using it to feed somebody or injuring somebody or something. But all the same, I think I don't see any problem with having that's a metal or an iron spoon and fork for as cutlery. These are the two that I recommend. There should be no knife included. That's done. Number 2, the water bottle. The water bottle, because of some schools have what do they call it, tap water. Some have a place where people fetch it, but most parents don't usually trust the water provided by the school. So if you're in doubt, I recommend a 1.5 liters bottle. Okay, 150 cl or 1.5 liters, so that for sure your child may, let me still use the word may, not run out of water while in school. The best the child can do is to come back with the water and then you pour it away at home, instead of allowing your child to run out of water in the school and probably beg somebody or probably drink the one that you did not trust ab initio. So for water bottle, I'm recommending a 1.5 liters or 150 cl water bottle. And this length of the height of that water bottle would then mean that we're not going to have a mini lunch box. We're going to have a lunch box that is a bit that has height, so that it can contain the 1.5 liter water bottle. Though some water bottles are fat, so they may not be tall, but it will be fat. Okay, then that's fine. I'm not going to go further than this on water bottle. Then on the food flask, I recommend a food flask that can retain hotness and has 3 in 1, right? 3 in 1, okay, 2 in 1 at the minimum. That is, you have a food flask where you can put food on the body, let me call it the body of the flask, then put an inner plate where you can put another component of the food, and then cover the inner flask, that's the inner part of the flask, then cover the flask entirely. I think this is fine. There are some that have three decks where you can put something on the body, also put on the first layer and also the second layer. That's fine. Then on the lunch pack itself, there's a lunch pack that is like a warmer that is coated inside with foam and soft other what do you call insulators that will be able to prevent your child's food from being subjected to direct weather, thereby making it to get cold and freeze before even the lunch break. Having explained the lunch pack, the food flask, the water bottle, and the cutlery, in summary, on this part we said, let there be a lunch pack that can contain a 1.5 cl or 150 or 1.5 liter or 150 cl of water bottle, whether it's fat or tall. Then let it be able to contain a flask that has at least one deck inside from the body of the flask, or 2 decks inside. Okay, then let it be a hot flask. What do they call it? That's a hot retaining flask, the one that can retain hotness. That's again. Then we also said on the cutlery, do not include knife. The two you can include, as I recommend, is just the spoon and the fork as the cutlery. At this point, I want to thank those that have joined us online, and I'm also appealing that you help us share this link with your contacts as we are discussing once again the subject titled The Child and the Lunchbox, or the child's lunchbox. Thank you for your like. I'm seeing you online. Please help us share the link so that other people can join us online. Now, having explained the lunch bag, the importance of the lunchbox, we said that to some children the lunch bag is even more important to them than the school bag, because they are going to gas out in school, they're going to get tired and they need to eat something. Now, having laid this foundation, we have also appreciated our mothers who wake up to cook this food afresh, or who wake up to warm the food every day for these children, or those that assist our mothers and our wives to do this. We will say, may God bless all of you. Yes, God need to bless you in Jesus' name. Amen. God need to bless you. Yes, because it is you that takes the work. Yes, we appreciate you always. Okay, so we have also appealed to fathers and to husbands that the food menu is going to change as far as the time is in section, because not all the time that mommy or wife will have energy to prepare fresh food in the morning. So sometimes when you come back home and ask what did you cook, they will tell you this is what we cooked because of school tomorrow. Please, sir, just make effort to accept it and eat it so that all of us will be happy and move forward. Some days are like that. Okay, now having laid this foundation, let's now open the lunch box. What do we put in the lunch box? Number one, the primary aim of the lunch box for me is food and water. So if you can afford food and water, you have done so well. All praise to you, mommy. All praise to you, daddy, who provided, and mommy, who provided, and those who prepared. Food and water are the two most important parts of the lunch box. Now, we are still going to come up to these items. Now, if you now talk about Mr. Ihanacho, thank you for joining us. Please help us share the link so that others can follow us and learn. Thank you, Osuranadam 42. Thank you for coming online. Okay, thank you for saying you will, Hilary Hanacho. I appreciate your presence, and I thank you for sharing the link. We are discussing Lunchbox. The Lunchbox, school is in section, and parents need to get the Lunchbox ready for their children. And we have looked at the Lunchbox. I'm just giving a summary. We have looked at the Lunchbox to say that the Lunchbox contains a flask. Yes, Lunchbox, yes, for children, the what they take to school. We've said that Lunchbox is to some children more important than the school book, the school bag itself, because they need to eat food as soon as they are tired. Okay, then we have also said that the Lunchbox should contain a food flask, yes, a water bottle, and cutlery. Then we have also cleared that the water bottle should be at least 1.5 cl, 1.5 liters, or 150 cl, so that the child will not run out of water in school and probably use the school's tap water, which you do not trust, or need to beg somebody for water while school is in section. We discourage that. So we are looking for 1.5 liters or 150 cl of water, so that the child will bring back the remaining and pour it away instead of begging somebody. Then we said in the cutlery, it should also be only spoon and fork. There should be no knife. Whatever that need to be cut, please cut it at home. And Alexis, thank you for your greetings. Whatever that needs to be cut it at home and put in the food flask for the child. Then we said again that the food flask should be such that has 2 or 3 layers inside. That's the main body of the food flask with an inner plate, either one deck or 2 decks, that has another cover before the main cover of the flask. Yes, these are the then we now say the water bottle may be tall or fat. The important thing is that let it be 1.5 cl or 150 liters, 150 cl or 1.5 liters of bottle that can contain water that will be okay. Alexis, thank you. You come back online and then watch. Thank you. So having said this, we're now discussing the most important thing in the food, in the lunch box. We said the 2 most important things in the lunch box is food and water. Okay, why I said food and water is that snacks is not compulsory if you have added food and water. Snacks is not compulsory if you have added food and water. The food, the quantity, your child's stomach size, I would say, because all parents knows their child's stomach size, even the husband's stomach size, they know. So they'll be able to know the quantity of food that when they put it, the child can eat probably 2 times. I think most of them used to eat 2 times before the end of class, for the end of school that day. So your child can eat in the first break and the second break and be able to be okay. If your child remains food, it's not an issue now. It's better that your child remains food, bring it back home. If you can warm it, that's fine. If you cannot warm it, you throw it away. You just keep adjusting. I don't encourage throwing food away, but you keep adjusting until you get to the point that when you give the child the food, sure he or she will finish it without remaining much or without even remaining at all. Okay, that having said that, let us give them the quantity that is enough for the child to finish or to be okay in school. Then water must be 150 cl or 1.5 liters. Then that's why I said that the 2 most important thing in the lunch box is the food and the water. For snacks, which may include biscuits and juice, is not compulsory for every family because our incomes are not the same. Okay, our incomes are not the same. Number 2, our mode of trainings are not the same as well. So if the way I'm training my own family, I don't want them to take snacks, do not see me as poor parent. Okay, you then have, but if you're not going to give your child if you're not going to give your child biscuits and juice, then you need to sit them down and explain to them reason why you are not going to give them biscuits and juice every day, so that they'll be able to understand it, assimilate it, and don't go to school to beg other people, and don't go to school to see themselves as the poorest of the poor in the class. Okay, it will affect them if you do not explain to them why you don't include biscuits and juice in their lunch pack. This is a point that has been established. Now I want to then go further into the biscuit and juice. For those that do give their children biscuits and juice alongside with the food and water, here is my counsel. Okay, for some families, they give In fact, for my own family, I give food, biscuit, and juice. But this is how I do it. Monday, we go with food and biscuit and juice, no problem. Tuesday, we go with only food, no biscuit, no juice. Wednesday, we go with food, biscuit, and juice. Thursday, we go with food only, no juice and biscuit. Friday, we go with food and biscuit, no juice. Okay, the reason is that I also want to help these children to control diabetes, because child diabetes is real. In case you don't know, that's what is called child diabetes. That's what is called that the child is obese. Yes, you argue that they use the exercise and run it out, but can also help them. So this is my own family. This is how I do my own. I give them juice and biscuits only Monday and Wednesday. Friday, I give them only biscuit, and I think my wife doesn't even give them. Yeah, she doesn't give them. Sorry, she does not give them anything on Friday, because she says that Friday they close at 12 noon. So it's almost as just a 4-hour class or something. Sorry, I use the word just, but like it's a 4-hour class, so they come back and then eat whatever they want to eat at home. So Monday, my own timetable is Monday, food, juice, biscuit, and water. Tuesday, food and water, no juice, no biscuit. Wednesday, food, biscuit, juice, and water. Thursday, food and water. Friday, food and water. And that's all. Okay, so I will do it just in a way to control their sugar level. Yes, it is worth controlling at this point, to control the intake of sugar they do take. Yes, they run around the school, that one, but I need also to make my own little effort. And I've explained to them reason why we do that. So they will not go to school the day they did not come with their own biscuit and juice. They'll be like, our parents are poor, that's why they're not giving me the thing that we need or something. No, we are deliberate about controlling their level of sugar, okay, through the snacks and all that. Then I think this will be enough for snacks. Okay, on the snacks too. Okay, we'll come back that one is general advice. Let's talk about the type of food. Now you're going to say that you want to use maybe the remaining of the food you cook. Thank you for your likes. Please help us share the link so that it will get to others, even now that we're live or thereafter. You can give us a topic you want us to treat. My name is Collins. I've been a children teacher since 2009. I started from Jimita Yola, Adamawa State, Demsawo Street, during my National Youth Service days. And since then, I've been with children in the church, in the fellowship, anywhere I am. Okay, so if there's any topic you want us to treat online or physically, you can just send me an email or send a comment. My email is thefamilybyou@gmail.com. thefamilybyou@gmail.com, and we'll just take a topic, present it here, or present it to your audience online, or come physically to present it. I stay in Abuja, Nigeria. Okay, thank you. So we're discussing the lunchbox. We had earlier acknowledged mothers' efforts to make the lunchbox ready for the children every day, the content of the lunchbox. We had also acknowledged that, pleaded with fathers, that food menu is going to change in the house, because most mothers cook what will remain for the children to take to school the next day, while most mothers, those that have energy, wake up every morning to prepare fresh food. However, even those that cook what remains for the next day also do cook sometimes a few fresh food in the morning of some days and send along with the children. So that's commendable. Appreciate the mothers. I appreciate also the fathers who would have patience with mothers when they cook the one that the children will take to school. Parenting is not easy; it's a call to sacrifice. Okay. So having said that, we looked at the content of the lunchbox. We said lunchbox will contain a food flask, a water bottle, and cutlery, and or may or may not contain snacks. For the water bottle, we recommend 150 cl or 1.5 liters water bottle, whether fat or long, so that the children will not run out of water in school and be begging people for water. Then we recommend also that you should not include knife in the content of the cutlery you're going to put, so that the child will not use it and injure himself or injure somebody, or somebody will not just rush to his bag or her bag because he knows that there is a knife there, pick it and injure somebody or himself in the class. A lot are happening. Okay, then we said in the food flag should be such that has inner plates and a cover. It could be one deck, could be two decks of inner plates with its cover, so that we'll be able to use it and cover the. Then we say also the lunch box should be the one that has insulator inside, so that the food will not, the hotness of the food will not all evaporate to the weather before even the time, making the child to eat very cold food in school. That's not recommended. Then we also we have now moved to the snacks. We said every child must not take snack, biscuits, and juice alongside with food and water. Then I gave the timetable that for my family, my children take on Monday food, water, biscuit, and juice. Tuesday, food and water only. Wednesday, food, water, biscuit, and juice. Thursday, food and water only. Friday, food and water only. And that's all. Then, but I explained to them reason why they take food and water only the days I'm taking it, because I want to control child obesity, child diabetes in them. Even though they run around, I also need to contain it. I also need to let them know that you can still, there are people that come to school without mixing all of them, like that's food, water, biscuit, juice, and care. And I had also pleaded with parents, please do not send your child to school without a lunch bag. And then on this one, I now said I don't want to bring in giving money for them to buy. It depends on the age of the child. Some parents give money, buy this during break, and I'm not going to condemn it totally, but it depends on the age of the child. Okay, it can also be a point to teach the child money management, but it can also be a way to teach the child that you always have money, or should always have money at hand at every point in time. So you need to be careful how to handle giving of money and then control it yourself as a parent. Now let's talk about the content of the food flask. We have agreed that water should be 1.5 liters or 150 cl. Okay, then for the content of the food flask, we're now looking at the food flask. We now want to open the food flask and check what did you put inside. You must put food that is a balanced diet one. Anyway, because of 5 days of school, so sure, the one you're going to give Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will end up being a balanced diet. But we're now saying that the content of the food flask, they said that's the food you're putting inside. It mustn't be there are some food you cook at home that you're not going to put in the water in the food flask. Not because people are going to say you are not eating rich man's food, because of the way that the food is being eaten. That's the nature of eating the food. It can be, for instance, food that splashes oil, food that that need to have plenty oil, and considering the child's school uniform, considering that they are not seated, like well balanced in the class to eat, considering that some of them are sitting two in one desk or chair, one chair that can carry 2 or 3 people. So considering those things, there are some food you're not going to put. Any food that has to do with oil that needs a lot of like you need to prepare and balance well before you eat. The kind of, I don't know your food, but you know what the food I'm talking about. You know that this food you need to relax and balance well to be able to eat the food. My dear, that we don't need now for you to put the food for the child, so that the child will not go to school, especially on his or her school uniform, and you will still complain when he or she comes back. So you look at some food, some days when you cook some food in the night, just know that this food is not for school tomorrow. Then it means that you also need to then cook a fresh food for them to take to school, please. Or in the night, you can also just make a time and prepare a certain food for them that you can warm in the morning for them to be able to take it to school the next day. Then meat, I don't know, so that you will not put a kind of meat that, if not, you can use knife. That's why I advise that you should not put knife for them. If you know that the child is going to draw the meat and then splash oil, not just on his or her own clothes, but on the clothes of another person, school of another person in the class, I think it will be better that you use your knife, cut the meat into bits, in smaller bits in school, at home, and then put for the child. So the child could just use spoon or fork and pick the meat without needing to put it in the teeth and draw it, without needing to now draw it and do bra, and all you will just splash on somebody. It becomes a problem. So I think that you should cut meat. If it's fish, okay, you should cut meat and cut it very well, so that the child will just pick up with spoon, and that's all. Then if it's fish, you take out your time to open the fish at home, remove remove the center bone if you have the center bone, or remove bone anywhere you see bone. Just try to help this child a little. How would you feel that your child went to school and while eating bone then got stopped on his neck or her neck, and the child was rushed to hospital or something? So you then blame the child. Why were you not careful? Why were you not careful enough? The child is a child, and the desperate 100% level of carefulness from the child, because of that still in the formative age. So if you're putting fish, please take our time to extract the bones at home, and then present a fish that is easy to eat, please. Then if you cut the meat into pieces at home, and then use knife and cut the meat into pieces at home, and then give the child, so that when your child gets to school, he or she will be able to enjoy the meal. After that was the reason for the food. So your child will be able to enjoy the meal without causing trouble for herself, and even for himself, and for other people as well. That's what I think about what am I discussing about the content of the lunchbox. Because what we're looking at now is the content of the lunchbox. The content of the food flask itself. So we need to know oily food that cannot be eaten. I need to wash 2 hands. Okay, this brings me to putting swallow. Yes, now if it's a small child, you don't need putting swallow now. You're just stressing this child for goodness sake. Okay, because the swallow would need it, except the child has been trained to use cutlery to use it at home anyways, then that's fine. But if the child is not trained, why would you put swallow for the child? The child will need to go and wash his or her hand, come back in the class, then eat, go back, wash hands again. It's going to be unnecessarily stressful. So you also need to, consider these things. If it's rice and stew that you're putting, and you know that your child is not good in turning, you can try and turn it at home. Though some teachers do assist. So you know your child. That's why I talked on the other day. My topic the other day was know your child's teacher. If you have your child's teacher's phone number, you can actually call your child's teacher and say, teacher, assist my child in opening the flask. I tightened it very well so that it will not pour, and please assist this child, assist her to turn the stew you assist her to turn the food. You can't be afraid now. Once you are not comfortable with your child's teacher, the best thing you can do is to look for another teacher now, because your children are they're spending a whole lot of time with the teacher. Okay, so you need to make efforts to know your child's teacher. See how all of them are linking up. You know your child's teacher, so that you'll be able to pass and call your child's teacher on phone and give instruction pertaining the food that you brought if need be. Okay, so any food that is complicated to eat, please do not eat. If it's a food that you need to wrap, like moi moi, like other things, whether foil, whether, please, I think you should unwrap it at home and then put in the flask. This thing, you understand what I mean? Just use your eyes wherever you are now listening to me and visualize a classroom and this your child being able to clear his or her books off the table, off the desk, because the small space they're giving them, clear it off and then put the food flask, that bending down his head or her head up beside someone and all that. So as much as possible, let us try to remove anything that is looking like that's meant to make the eating of the food complicated for the child, so that the child will be able to enjoy the food just without. Yes, once again, this is the family by you. This is this is the family by you. We discuss anything about children, family, and their marriage. Just contact us. You can call us on phone. You can send us an email, thefamilybyou@gmail.com, to discuss whatever topic you want to discuss with you. Thank you so much for being part of this podcast today. Welcome back online. So I was saying that we need to make the taking of food in the school easy for the child as much as possible. Let us not make it complicated for the child, so that the child will be an additional curriculum activities for the child. I think at this point we have made our point. I'll just summarize once again and then we'll be closing. We are going to meet tomorrow again to discuss another important topic, which I titled Always Show Up for Your Child. Always show up for your child. That's what we're going to discuss tomorrow. I'll talk about it. Yes. So it is important to also talk to your children on begging, on what they call longer throat, begging somebody for food. You need to talk to your children on longer throat, so that they will not be begging people for food when they text food or begging people for snacks. Thank you for being part of this podcast. In summary, today we discussed on a topic which we called the child's lunchbox. We started by saying, what is lunchbox for? We said it is the food they will eat while in school. They need it because they cannot stay long without food. They don't have such endurance as you do. That's number one. Number two, we said, what should be the content of the lunchbox? So the content should be a food flask that can retain hot, yes, water bottle, cutlery, and or snacks. We say in the cutlery, let there be no knife. There can be spoon and fork, but let there be no knife. Number two, say that the water bottle, the minimum I recommend is 1.5 liters or 150 cl of water bottle. Reason being that I don't want them to run out of water and start begging people for water during school hours. And number two. Number three, the hot flask should be such a way that it can contain, that it has 2 or 3 layers, the main body of the flask, and an inner plate, maybe 1 or 2 inners. But then we also say that the school lunchbox should be such that it has an insulator inside, like a foam-like something inside that will prevent the food from being exposed to the hotness of the weather, thereby making the food cool at the inside very fast. Then we said snacks is not compulsory. I gave myself as an example that I give snacks, biscuits and juice 2 times a week. The rest is food and water, food and water. Reason is to control what we call child obesity. That's what is called child obesity. It is real. The child is obese. It is real. Okay. Child diabetes is real. So we can control it by controlling the quantity of sugar intake too. And I said I was also going to add, even apart from school days, depending on the age of your child or your children, instead of them finishing 1 bottle of mineral at home, you can share it with them in cups, or they will take half today and finish half tomorrow. They won't take one bottle of mineral each time they want to drink. You may call it enjoyment and providing for them, but me, I may call it that you're giving them excess sugar, even though they're not around. But you can help. Then we said that we should know the content of the lunch of the flask. Now, you may not need to put some kind of food, not necessarily because you're shy or you're hiding the kind of food, but because of their school uniform and because of other people in the class. So do not give them a food that you know that is going to splash oil. You may not give them fufu swallow because you know that they need to wash hand, except you have trained them to be able to use spoon and fork to eat the swallow comfortably without causing any nuisance in class. Then we said, okay, if you're giving meat, like whether red meat or white meat, but white meat is recommended. If you're giving meat, that you should please use your knife and dice it at home, cut the meat into pieces and then put it in the flask so that the child can use spoon and scoop and just pick the meat and eat. Don't give your child the meat that the child will need to put it in it and draw like this and shake his head and shake everywhere. and before you know it, all you will splash put on the teacher on the board everywhere. They say, who did this? They say it's Collins is eating. Your child will be embarrassed, so if it is meat, if it's fish, please take out your time to, parenting is a great job anyways, so take out your time to, to check the bones, check for bones, remove bones from the inside of the fish before you put in your child's lunch bag. And then I think this is fine. Then quantity of food that your child can finish. Mothers do know, parents do know, the person that is eating the food. Just take a close watch. It's called data analysis. Take a close watch on how he or she consumed the first quantity you gave yesterday, today, and tomorrow. In order to say, okay, next tomorrow I'm going to do this one and do this. So, Then very important, yes, very important. There is a type of food that your child likes very well. If that one is cooked, he or she is going to finish everything and clean the plate. The type that will be cooked, he or she will not even eat it up to half. So you know those kind of foods. You know them and know, control how you dish out the food as well, so that you don't waste. Myself, I don't like waste, but I don't like waste, but I would prefer that we put what's it called, enough quantity of food instead of giving the child enough from them to beg for food in class. I think we have nailed it. Yes, I want to sincerely thank you for being online with me for these 15 minutes. spent time on 50. I said, my name is Collins. I've been a children teacher since 2009. I started my journey in children ministry with Children Evangelism Ministry in Jimita, Yola, where I did my NYC. And ever since then, I've been with children in the church, in the church, anywhere I am, anywhere I see a child, even in the market. I used to talk, and I've shouted at many parents in the market simply because of the way they were handling their own children, or his or her own child. I will take it up and I will shout until that error is corrected. So that's even what inspired this family. But we talk about family and parenting generally. If you want us to talk on a topic, you can drop it on the comment section or send it as an email. The email address is thefamilybyu, the family by you at gmail.com, or send it as a comment on the comment section, so that we'll be able to discuss with your audience online or discuss with your audience physically. I stay in Abuja, Nigeria, so it is something that I can come from. I want it online and make people to do so that we'll be able to attend. If there's any topic you want us to talk about, put down the topic, we'll talk about it. This is school. School has started. If you have not watched our previous videos, please do watch our previous videos. For last week, we discussed taking your child to school, we discussed picking your child from school, we discussed getting to know your child's teacher. Number 4, today we are discussing the Lunchbox. Tomorrow we are going to discuss always show up for your child. Always show up for your child in school. Yes, I don't want to just, let me not start discussing the topic. The topic is always show up for your child. Throughout this September, by the grace of God, we are going to discuss school new term tips until the end of the month. Probably we would have finished them before we continue with the other things we can discuss, like family, like parenting, and different things. So I wish you well. I wish you success. I wish you everything that you need. Above all that, you prosper, even as you're so prosper. Above all that, God will provide for you what you use to train your children, because times have always, I would say times are hard, times have always been hard, but God always has a way of making a way for His people. So I'm praying that God will provide for you as a parent, so that you'll be able to have enough money to be able to pay your children's school fees, so you're able to have enough money to be able to buy textbooks, buy notebooks, and then do all that you need to do. For all those that came online, I say thank you and God bless. You can send your questions as a comment, send your question as a comment, send it to us in email, make efforts to reach out to us. If any topic you want us to discuss with you, we'll be here, we will do that. We cannot run away. It is our duty as parents to take care of these children. And we just have to put on two ways. Yes, I want to pray for parents. I want to pray that God will continue to open doors for you and grant you favor and favor you, so that you be able to do well, to have enough to raise your children. Then I'm saying to children, oh children, your parents are making efforts to see that you are trained to a good height, to an education level. Remember that some of your age mates are not going to school. Remember that some of your mates are not in school. So some of your mates are not in school. So if God has made it possible that you're in school, please and please make effort to reciprocate. How do you reciprocate? Read your books. Read your books. I know some those people that used to appear on television wearing tie, wearing suit, dressing or dressed up. You have them, plenty of them around. That should be your inspiration. I know seeing your father and your mother. them too should be inspiration so that you'll be able to do better than them because that's their prayer. Always like to be better than them. I think we'll stop here. This 5 minutes to 1 hour. It's 609. Thank you so much. And someone just joined online. Thank you so much. God bless you. We appreciate your presence. Please help us share this link so that it will reach out to the world. We need to learn this kind of thing. Somebody just joined online. Thank you so much. You can share our link, drop a comment, drop your questions or encouragement in the comment sections. Whatever it is that you have, anything that you want us to say hi to me, I'll be happy. I will say hi back to you. I will send you the link. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. I remain your host, calling is my name. And like I said, I've been trained I was trained by Jonathan Williams for 1 year and I've stayed with them in Bermuda before I moved back to Nigeria. Yes, so God bless you, and God bless you, and God bless you. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord lift his face of countenance to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious to you, and may the Lord give you peace. May the Lord bless your children. May the Lord bless your marriage. May the Lord open doors for you. May he show you mercy where there is no mercy. And may he open doors for you and help you to be able to provide for your children. Anything that is making you scared about your children, you will not worry. It's not possible that you let them fail. It's not possible. You're going to devil and the best future for them. Thank you so much once again. See you tomorrow at 4. There's no other to discuss. Always show up for your child. Thank you. This person that has stayed online for me, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I would like to hear your comment. Yes, thank you so much. Bye-bye.